at 6, 35 Illinois counties have 10 or fewer attorneys in private practice, creating what they refer to as legal deserts in some parts of the state. That's according to the Illinois Courts Commission.
With the Adams County Chief Public Defender announcing his resignation while the office is already short-staffed, how does West Central Illinois compare? WGEM's Dylan Smith spoke with local and statewide attorneys to find out.
Daniel and Raja, in Adams County specifically, legal desert may not be the term to use, but in surrounding areas it very well may be. Attorneys I spoke with say recruitment needs to be taken seriously and internships are crucial. When Adams County Chief Public Defender Todd Nelson announced his resignation effective on February 15th, and the Deputy Chief Public Defender Chris Pratt announcing his candidacy for Hancock County State's Attorney, it left me wondering, what's the bigger problem? The office already has several vacancies, but is it something that all rural Illinois is facing? Can they even attract attorneys?
It's hard for us to compete with the salaries of St. Louis and Chicago.
Natalie Oswald works at the largest firm in Adams County, but even she recognizes the problem rural areas are facing. Officials with the Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Commission say there's about 95,000 lawyers statewide, but locally,
we have 75 in Adams County. We have, within a 100-mile radius, maybe, 130.
Oswald mentions pay, and Adams County State's Attorney Gary Farha says more graduates are wanting to work from home.
The modern attorney has made a lot of changes, whereas when I was in law school and first became an attorney, I knew how to work with a secretary.
Interview requests with Nelson were left unanswered. In a statement, he notes a new statewide public defense system would help alleviate the, quote, crushing workloads that go beyond the standards. New standards set by the National Public Defense Workload Study. The study claims the old standards set more than 50 years ago are outdated. That's 150 felony cases per year, 200 juvenile cases, and 400 misdemeanors per defense attorney. How many are his assistants handling, he wouldn't say.
We were viewed as representing the bad guys.
John Rakowski worked in the Madison County, Illinois Public Defender's Office for 40 years. Before retiring, he says he'd have trouble recruiting, so he had to get creative.
I very aggressively recruited. I went to law schools. I ran an intern program to have them in the office.
Rakowski says that could help, although Farha says programs already exist in Adams County, but he thinks attorneys don't market Quincy well enough. At SRNM in Quincy, they've had an intern or a fellow every year since the Illinois State Bar Association created a program to help the cause, and it's paid off.
We hired him on as a law clerk for that summer. We were lucky enough to bring him back the following summer, and then lucky enough to actually hire him full-time this last fall.
And in Schuyler County, for example, they don't have a public defender in-house all the time. The county board chairman told me a Quincy-based attorney fills in, but has no assistants. Raja?
Thank you, Dylan. And in Oswald's comment about struggling to compete with larger cities, she says debt that graduates incur also deters people. The American Bar Association reports that the average law student graduates with more than $100,000 in loans.